Introduce yourselves and tell us how long you have been a part of 21 Days.
So I'm Linda, and I think this would be the maybe 7th year that we've done 21 Days here. So the first time I started 21 Days was here. And I just think that I've grown over the years, my expectations of what I believe God's going to do, and also looking forward to getting up early and coming out early.
Hey, August is much better than
Yes,
January.
it is so much better than January. But I look forward to that time, like starting to prepare mentally, spiritually, and physically, like, trying to give up some of the rich foods so that when the fasting comes where I'm not like
So you reduced the coffee.
Yes,
gradually.
reduce the coffee, rich foods.
Yeah.
And summertime is great because you want lighter foods anyway.
Yeah.
But in the fall,
You want all the foods.
yes, and you're getting up in the dark and you're driving in the dark.
Yeah.
But
sure.
it's good. What about you?
My name is Kayla. This, I think, will be my 3rd year of being part of 21 Days of Prayer and Fasting. And I didn't think I could do it when we
No.
first started. And so it's been a really good exercise of discipline. And I sleep in, y'all. I do not like to wake up early. But it's that discipline. It hits different getting up, getting dressed, and driving to church than it does like, I can just get up and grab my Bible off the nightstand
Yeah.
and read it while I'm still cozy in my bed.
Yeah. When does
Yeah.
it start to feel normal to you?
I don't think it does.
It's
That's
not.
what
It gets routine. It gets
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it's dark outside, I'm like, people are driving. Other people are on the road.
Cool. Well, I've been doing 21 days twice a year now for probably going on, almost, do I dare say a decade, almost 9 years. So it's good. I'm kind of like Linda. I look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
I look forward to August more than I do January. January's tough when it's like, -6 and snowing, and it's dark when you come in and it's dark when you leave.
Yeah.
But no, I really look at 21 Days as just kind of a opportunity to just reset. Like January and August just kind of mark parts in my year where I reset. And I've been surprised at how many things that I've laid down during 21 Days. Sometimes I'll take a break from social media. Sometimes I'll just not watch TV and just kind of spend that time away. But some of those things have actually just kind of become ebbs and flows in my life because I think, you fast from food. The fast that I do during 21 Days is I just eat one meal a day. So I eat in the evenings, have a tea in the morning, but that's about it. And that first week is tough, but usually by that second week, it's pretty good for me. But yeah, I think it's such a great time to just seek the Lord. And I always come out of it feeling so much more refreshed and focused, and yeah, it's just awesome. What about you?
Oh man, this is my 3rd fast, not quite 2 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Still not normal. I wasn't prepared for you to throw the question back at me, so I don't know what I'm saying. I'll say the first time I chose probably the hardest fast I could have done, which was like the dumbest idea I probably could have made. But I was determined.
Yeah.
And so I stuck it through, and it was really cool just to see how the Lord worked through that. And, I persevered, and was definitely not something that I will probably do again, but you live and you learn.
That fast or fasting at
That
all?
fast
That one,
specifically.
Yeah.
The Daniel fast is very demanding, and I think
Yeah.
it was good. Maybe eventually I will do it, but just in the time of my life that I was in, I shouldn't have done it. And I had never fasted spiritually. I only fasted, physically because of sports and all of that. And so that was also a different experience that can be very tolling, because you're going through the thick of it spiritually. And so when it comes to food and you're also doing something super demanding food wise, like you got to choose your battles a little bit there. And so, but it's been good since, like, I love the experience. It's fun to see multi-generational and all of that and get together on early mornings and stuff like that. I'm also not an early morning person, so that's been difficult, but it's good.
I'm an early morning person, just not that early.
That's fair. I'm a morning person, like a 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock person.
I like to stay up late, so it's like forcing myself to go to bed earlier is it's challenging because who wants to go to sleep at 9 o'clock? Not me.
Same. Yeah.
So,
have any of you guys really kind of during 21 days, like, had a big decision or anything like that where you just kind of brought it before the Lord and kind of heard a calling? Or
That is definitely my story.
Yeah.
The first 21 days we had is really special to me because it's kind of what brought me here.
Yeah.
So I was stepping in. I had given a 3-month commitment to just helping kids church, and it was on my heart of, is this something I could do long term? I have 6 kids at home that we homeschool, and the idea of working and not being with them all the time, I was really wrestling with, there's no way I could do that. There's just no way. There's no way. But I committed to fasting and praying for 21 days, kind of knowing that the answer may not come within those 3 weeks. And so I came here every morning that I could. I had a little baby, so sometimes I watched from home. But the mornings I was in the room felt so much, there's a fellowship, there's a part of being with other believers. It was really special. So one of those mornings, I'm in the room, I'm kneeling in the sanctuary at my seat, just kind of telling God, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. My plate is so full. This would be such a huge thing to add to my plate. And the peace and it just instantly, my heart heard God's voice, just that piece of, you think anything you're doing is in your own strength, Kayla? You think that being a mom and being a wife and what you're doing now, you're doing that relying on me. Do you trust me? Like, this is, I'm praying for 21 days. Okay, Lord, show me your will. Show me your will. And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, this is it.
But Lord, I really want you to kind of answer this way.
Yes. Yeah. And it was transformative. I don't know that would have happened in my bedroom. Like I said, being cozy in my bed, praying and reading the Bible, that is great. But that discipline and that commitment, and I think that sacrifice of, okay, Lord, I really, really am seeking what you want me to do. And this decision affects me and my kids and my husband. And so since then, I haven't had as big of a decision as that to come, but it's been transformative to just say, okay, what do you want to tell me, Lord? Here I am.
Yeah.
What do you want to do in this time?
yeah.
Yeah, what about you guys?
I haven't had any really major decisions to make during 21 days, but I definitely feel like in those moments, God's revealed things like these are some areas you need to surrender, or He's just given me like not visions, but future plans for ministry. Like I remember one day I was just sitting there praying and all these thoughts were coming. I'm like, I got to write these down because I'm going to forget it. And I know that's of God because there were things that I weren't really on my heart, and He was just planting those seeds of what to do. So, but I think it's the discipline of getting up early, purposely focusing on God. I think sometimes I could say during the rest of the year, I don't want to get up early, I don't want to do this, but 21 days, it's a focused time and it is good. Like I feel like those are moments when I'm closer to God because I am focused on Him, and also I am encouraged to see so many people, children, youth, coming out to pray early in the morning. And it just really blesses me, and people coming, like people experiencing healing from prayer, and just I've seen like just so much change in people's lives just from 21 days, and it's wonderful to see what God's doing.
Yeah, it's definitely a deepening, kind of like what you're saying. I mean, yeah, you may have like a big, huge thing that you're bringing before the Lord, but I think too, it's just being intentional,
Yeah.
right? And it's just setting those 21 days aside for God to just say, just speak.
Yeah.
And I think too, for me, like I have my daily prayer times and I have my daily devotional times, but for whatever reason, there's just a difference with 21 days. And I think part of that too is I think there's a power. I mean, we've kind of seen it where the Lord's really started moving in our church the more that we've made that a focus, and the more that we're just kind of seeking after Him. I know a lot of the new things that we do are actually things that we're kind of taking into 21 days to kind of say like, Lord, do you want us to do this?
Yeah.
Like, is this what you're wanting? And sometimes you get yes, and sometimes you get no, right? And sometimes you get nothing. So I think, I think it's so important for us just as a church to just seek after God as a church within a specific amount of time. I just think there's some power in that.
Definitely.
I just think specifically for me, I think it was a lot of relationships. Like I got a lot of answers about relationships within the first 2 times that I did it. That like, I think when I first did it in August, I'd only been here for 3 months. And so it was more of like, God surround me with people like that, I had the occasional, I had the idea of what a friendship looked like in my brain. And it was I had a lot of conversations with all of you about like, your friend doesn't have to be your age. Your friend doesn't have to be in the same lifestyle as you. Your friend doesn't have to be in the same generation as you, I guess, necessarily. And so that was really cool to like refocus that first 21 days. And then in January, it was more of like I had established those friendships, and it was more of like a relationship thing of like, hey, there's these toxic people in my life, both male and female, that I need to be removed. And so I think both times it was a relational aspect for me. So it wasn't never necessarily like a big decision, a little bit of like what you talked about, but like just getting to have people rally around you in both those times and pray over you and, give good counsel, and even just what like the pastors would say in that little 15-minute devotional, just speaking to that. Like it was really cool just to see God, testify in that moment and give clarity. So that was really good too. And I think as a staff, it's really good for us too. And it's a little bit like you talked about the church aspect, but like starting with the staff, like I think it brings us closer, and it back to the discipline and, pouring into one another, multi-generational, getting to, experience that together is really cool. And then seeing our leadership team show up, and then seeing our congregation show up, and then our youth, and just, I don't know, I talked with Ardette a little bit in our interview about multi-generational and what it meant to her to see, youth kiddos and older people and all the things. And she just was like, it's really cool. Sometimes I find myself not even being in a state of like worship, eyes closed, hands raised, but getting to watch them. And she's like, I just find myself watching them worship. And that's really cool to see too, I think. So, yeah.
Well, I think it is, right? I think that there's also an encouragement to that. You talked about like the communal aspect of being in the building. Yeah, I've done the same. I've watched online, and it's good. Yeah. But there's just another component, right? Yeah. Even saying good morning in small little conversations in the lobby and building relationships. Like I think that's cool.
Yeah.
What would you guys say for somebody who's never done 21 days before? How do they prepare? What are some pro tips from you? Pros.
Gosh.
I would say once you've decided what type of fast you're going to do, go shopping. Don't wait till you
like if it's specific foods or if you're cutting something out.
Exactly. Prepare ahead of time. The first time we did it, I did not do that. And so it was the day I wasn't ready. And so then I had to do a day later, and it was hard then for me to go to the store and, do all that shopping and stuff. And
while you're starving.
Exactly. But I also find like for me, it's better if I do a fast I'm skipping meals, because when I do a fast that you have to plan what meals, and I think I focus more on the food aspect of it and less on the prayer and what God's doing. So that doesn't work well for me. I've done that before, and I felt like the whole time I was just, what can I fix, or looking up recipes, and so for me that doesn't work.
And I think that kind of goes a little bit too, right? Jesus talks about like when you're fasting,
Yes.
like wash your face, don't look like you're fasting.
Mhm.
And so, if all you're doing is like obsessing on, well, I'm doing the Daniel fast and I need to do this and I can only have that. And I can, like, you're not focusing on the right thing, right?
Right.
Because the whole purpose of 21 days and the whole purpose behind fasting is an emptying of yourself, and you're replacing that with the Lord.
Right.
Versus I'm looking for this specific type of thing.
Yes.
So I think that's a great pro tip from Linda.
For me, it's waking up earlier and earlier and earlier. Because I'm not kidding, I sleep until 8, and then I get to work by 8:45, and that's just what I do. But just recently, I've started getting up, and when I take my dog out to go to the bathroom, I change before I do it, so then I go on a walk. So it's like just little things like that
as you start to prepare.
just get earlier and earlier, because my dog wakes me up on the clock at 6:23 every morning without fail. And so it's like just little things like that, like getting to wake up earlier is back into that routine, and then you're going all day. But even just with the simple thing of starting to wake up earlier, you just feel so much better. Like I go on a little 15-minute, 20-minute walk in the morning, and I just feel completely refreshed, and I'm not tired throughout the day. And like, that's my biggest, like, I need to sleep in, because when actually sleeping in makes me more tired. So just, I think simple things like that, just back to the discipline. Just my dog's on a discipline schedule, so I can't have it.
Nice.
I think it's been helpful for me to consider the season of life I'm in. There's 8 people at my house. So kind of choosing something that is going to be easy to do for 21 days, not necessarily easy, but taking that into consideration. My kids don't want to eat tofu. I don't want to cook a pot roast, and then I'm eating tofu while still cooking that for them.
Smelling pot roast.
Yes. And that part has been cool for me. I realize how much of a sweet tooth I have.
Yeah.
And so realizing how really unconsciously or subconsciously I'm just reaching for something and then going, oh, okay, Lord, like help me through that. And bringing maybe outside of those dedicated times for study or prayer and making that just part of the everyday, every hour has been really cool.
Yeah, I would probably say, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, but adjusting my behaviors, some behaviors that I probably need to lay down. Maybe I'm watching too much TV, or maybe I'm listening to too many podcasts, or I'm getting, it's a political season, and so I'm paying attention to that stuff. And so I always like to do that, and so fasting from that stuff in addition to fasting from food, right? Because I think there's something different in abstaining from food and building that discipline. And to your point, like when I'm reaching for that, right? If Jesus is the bread of life, am I focusing on God in that moment when I want to do this thing, or I want to get that thing? And that may seem like just a small trivial thing, but even just doing that, right? And just being in the moment and just thinking about God in that moment, like that blesses God, like that pleases God. So I would do that. I think to your point, don't wait to start getting up at 5 a.m. the day you have to get up at 5 a.m. Right? Prepare. And I think about that. We talk about the tabernacle prayer in 21 days, right? And going through different processes in order to get to God. And I think it's kind of the same thing as you're getting ready for 21 days to really prepare yourself, to not let it be something that you just start on day one and you're running to the grocery store and trying to find all of the things you need. I think it's really just focusing forward on that and kind of telling God, like, hey, I'm beginning to prepare my heart to really come into a deeper relationship with you.
And I think for me, I remember one year I was preaching and I was like, I'm giving up meat. And I was like, what? That has to be from the Holy Spirit because I love to eat meat. And so I was like, okay, that's what I'm doing. So like that was something specific God wanted me to do. So I could give that up and rely on him. And I thought that I would have a hard time doing that because I didn't know, but God just gave me the strength. I didn't crave it. And it was so good to see that the obedience, God blessed that in giving me the strength to do without meat for 21 days. But
And for me, realizing that like God can give me power over my flesh.
Yes.
Like that has, when it's not during 21 days of prayer and fasting, if I'm facing something that's physically hard or mentally hard, I have that knowledge, like I can overcome that.
Right.
Like I can lean on God's strength.
yeah.
Like I didn't eat ice cream for dessert for 3 weeks straight. I
Right.
can do this.
Yeah.
I proved that I don't do that. I don't have to do that.
I don't have to follow what my flesh wants.
Yes.
Or maybe that's with anger or something else.
Mhm.
That discipline
Yeah.
is getting stronger and stronger.
It's good.
But I'm also like you. I try to give up other things too because we could say we're giving up food and we're supposed to focus on the Lord, but then I'm focusing on everything else, like social media or TV,
Creating
or
distractions.
yes,
Yeah.
reading and all that. So I have to cut back on some of those things and put that time in, dedicated time in the Lord.
Yeah.
And realizing that we have a lot of time. Like I spend a lot
When
of time.
you wake up early, there's a lot more hours.
Yes.
There's like 18 hours in a day.
So weird. I didn't even know it was here. It's funny.
I like what I pointed that out. My older kids participated last year for the first time. And that was a good point of it's easy to focus on what you're giving up. But
Yes.
instead, my tip would be focus on spending more time, getting closer to the Lord,
Yes.
being instead of making it all about what you can't do,
Yeah.
to really focus on this is the purpose of why I'm doing this and getting to know God better.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 6 kids.
So how do you, I would imagine there might be some people watching or listening to this that go like, well, you don't understand. I have little Johnny and I have to take care of little Johnny.
Yes.
You have 6 Johnnies. How do you, so what would you say as a parent, how do you prepare your kids for 21 days? How do you help them? Do you invite them into that? How do you walk them through that? Like, how do you do that?
That's a great question. My husband and I definitely want them to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Not just mom and dad are eating something different or, and like Cameron talked about too, like, I think there's some exhaustion there. There's some spiritual battles going on. So they obviously can tell something's up. But to prepare them, even our 7-year-old last year wanted to participate. And so at their level, she decided that she wanted to give up sweets and candy. And so a big thing was not having a bowl of sweets and candy, like tempting her.
Yeah.
And knowing what we were each doing so that we could encourage each other, help each other. I'm not going to go ask Linda, like, do you want to come over for a barbecue?
I know.
When you're not
She's
eating
the
meat.
feasted meat.
I know.
I think it led to some great conversations with my teenagers and preteens about, what does it look like if you're facing a big decision, if you have a sin that you're really struggling with, if you're interceding for a friend, and that burden is really on your heart, we can bring that to the Lord.
Right.
And so practical things, sometimes my husband and I had to switch off which mornings we were coming.
Mm.
We have older kids, so some mornings we left early and they could stay home. On Saturdays, we all came together as a family. And sometimes, we had a sleeping kid in our arms during the week, but we just made that commitment that we were going to be here as many times as we could, because it'd be really easy to make excuses.
Sure.
Yeah.
And maybe that meant bringing a coloring book, bringing breakfast if they were going to be awake, a little applesauce pouch or whatever we needed to prepare ahead of time so that they could participate at whatever level.
Yeah,
was
and I
for them.
think to your point, one of the things that I would probably say too is just understand that the last thing the enemy wants us doing is dedicating 21 days,
Yes,
right? Is
exactly.
doing all of that. And so that's what I would say is, the excuses will flood in.
Yes.
The reasons to not do this will flood in.
Yeah.
The reasons to stop this fast will flood in. And it's really just resisting that and making that
Yes.
commitment and standing firm. You guys talked about building the disciplines of those things. And I think that's, so important. And it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool too because from your kids and from other kids that have come, I've seen, back to the community aspect, I've seen people rally around y'all
Yeah.
and, oh, hey, your kid's being distracted. Let me walk around the room with
Yes.
them so
Yes.
you can get your personal prayer time.
Mhm.
Or like, and just the way that the congregation and the way the body of Christ steps up in that moment. Like, I've spent multiple times with your kids in my hands, or I've seen Jeanette, the young mom that Jeanette brings. I've seen her little boy with Jeanette before, and it's just like, we're going to step up. And so it's not a distraction. I think a lot of parents also, back to the enemy piece, they're like, well, that's just a distraction. And it's not. Like, they need to hear the gospel too.
Well, and something that was powerful even for my preschoolers was there's cards laid out on the stage from kids all the way to adults who have put prayer requests in. And so modeling and teaching them, this is what it looks like to pray for people in our JCNaz family. And there's some hard things my kids would tap me and go, Mom, like this is big. And it's like, hey, we get to bring that to the Lord on behalf of this person.
Yeah.
Or there's some funny things, Mom, this prayer request says they hope it snows more, so school is canceled.
That is a real prayer in year 7. Like, that's a real prayer.
But what a great opportunity as a family and as a church family to go, hey, these are the real needs of people.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like, little 4-year-old to come sit and pray out loud for this.
I think 21 days also reminds me that the Christian life is about discipline.
Yeah.
And we have to discipline our minds, our flesh. And, we discipline ourselves to get closer to God. We read our Bibles, we pray, but we also fast.
Yeah.
And I think in an indulgent society, giving up anything we don't want to do.
Yeah.
And so,
because it's all immediate gratification.
exactly.
So, what would you say, really just simple, to somebody who maybe is on the edge of like wanting to attend, but they don't know if they should, or, well, what
Just
is this going to
struggle
do
with
for
that.
me? Like, what would you say to them?
Do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't make it to the first day or the second day or the first week, then start the second week.
Yeah. I'm one of these people. I'm married to one of these as well. That like there's 2 numbers, 0 or 100, right? And if I stumble out of the gate, then I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
And so I would probably just say the same thing. Like just lean in and and I said this earlier, right? The enemy doesn't want you doing this.
No, he doesn't.
Like not doing this keeps you separated from God. Not doing this keeps you where you are, right? Not doing this, it doesn't awaken that part of your spirit that goes, maybe you should stop doing this, right? And so, I think it's just lean in and just go all in. And there's going to be people here that are struggling too. And if you miss one day, guess what? You got
There's always tomorrow.
That's right. You got tomorrow.
Yes.
So like just jump back in and don't be hard on yourself. And maybe you don't go full 21 days. Maybe you missed 5 of the other ones, but it is streamed online. So, you can do that. And I said this, preaching, right? It's as important as you make it. So just make it important and elevate it in your life. And you'll be surprised what God will do when you elevate him in your life.
Yeah.
So.
And I think too, just for that atmosphere, people think that it can be intimidating. But it's not. I think it's probably less intimidating than a Sunday morning just to come in and, the lights are dim and nobody's really paying attention to what you're doing. Like, I think a lot of people think that, well, I'm going to be the oddball out, and you're just not. Like, we're all there for ourselves and our relationship with Jesus. We're not there to judge somebody else for being there. And so I think you just got to, back to discipline, you just have to go. You just have to say yes. So
Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Cool. What would you guys say that's something that you're looking for in 21 days for you personally? And what would be kind of your prayer for the church coming out of the church?
It's a really good question.
I can help with the awkward silence if you want me to start.
I would say for me, ministry-wise, is like the initiatives that our teams are starting up, just really praying through those. Because we do believe that God has put them on our hearts.
Yeah.
Dinner Church, Celebrate Recovery, Rally Points, 1 to 12.
Yeah.
You know, God's put those things on our hearts. And so now my prayer is for God to bring the people
Right.
that are needed.
Pray to the Lord of the harvest.
Yes. And so that's one thing I'm praying for, the people, and also praying for the lives that are going to be healed, the lives that are going to be touched, and to see what God's going to do as He transforms the lives of people in our church and in our community.
Yeah.
And so I'm praying for that. Personally, I'm just praying for more of Jesus, more of the Holy Spirit.
It's good.
Just growing closer to Him. I don't think I could go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the same, as we're just right at the edge of starting all these new groups and ministries, and some of that, like we said, coming from other 21 days, kind of feeling God put these things on our hearts. Just really excited and praying for those practical needs as we start those. And personally, I think a lot of you ladies, maybe guys too, could
I was gonna
relate.
say, hey, whoa,
Not to
wait.
alienate you.
I know.
I think just balance. Like it often for me feels like, you know, if I'm doing good in this area, then these areas aren't. And so really like, okay, Lord, you see me, you know, I'm not going to be perfect in mother, in wife, in homeschool, in church. And so surrendering those things to Him and just letting Him give me that peace and foundation again.
You go.
I don't really know something specifically. I just feel like going into this 21 days, I'm just excited to see what God does reveal to me. I think there's been a lot of, there's just been a lot going on. I think I've been trying to do a lot of, what's the word? Order, like get more, what is that word I'm looking for?
Organized.
Yeah, but like, what do we say like when we're trying to a system? More of like a system
process.
through everything that is going on, like just as simple as making an Instagram post, like, but also choosing a song for a Sunday morning. And like, what does that process look like? And getting somebody else inside my brain is really difficult. And so I've been really challenged in that area, and I know that's not my specialty. So really just for the Lord to kind of continue to work in that in my life. And I think too, just as a church, like I just want us to grow more and more like a family. I think we're doing really good at slowly turning the ship into, you know, our church is becoming a family. We're becoming one big, giant, just family who is dedicated to what the Lord is calling us to do, back to all the things that we're about to launch. And just even I've seen it in like my worship team and my production team, and just people are just rallying together, which is really cool. And so I just can't wait to see how 21 days does like expands that and opens those doors. So.
Yeah, for me, it's always every 21 days. I'm just asking the Lord to just help me be a better lead follower, right? To just continue to just work on my heart and to show me where do I need to improve, how do I need to get better, so that I can further equip the church, further help lead the team, do those things, and again, just I always think of it as I'm old enough to remember like static on the radio. And just fine tune it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, but did you have to turn a knob or did you just push a button?
Both. It depended on the pickup.
Hey,
it depended on the car.
You almost could just say like, what was that button called? Seek, right? So a little bit, it's a seek button, right? So and then what did that do? That went right to the next channel. So to me, it's a little bit of just that fine tuning of just you know just being able to discern when God's going like, hey, go there. don't go there,
Yeah.
right? Don't go that direction. So it was that, but really I'm, to just kind of echo everything you guys have said, really kind of what I'm praying for the church is just, I just think that I think the Lord has done a really good job of just preparing us, and we're on the precipice of being able to really impact the community outside of these walls. And so that's the thing that I'm really excited for. I'm praying that the Lord brings us leaders, brings us other leaders who can help us, right? And then also just partners in the community as well. Just, Lord, tell us the direction you want to go, who you want us to reach out to. We talked about kind of like the 1 to 12 initiative. And I always say that, right? We always need to be going after the one, Luke 15, right? The lost coin, the lost son, the lost sheep. We always need to be doing that, but we also need to be thinking about the 99, right? And what are we doing? And so how are we discipling those people that God's bringing near to us and bringing around us? So I'm just praying that the church does that the Lord just unleashes a spirit of wanting to help one another in their walk with the Lord. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. So we're excited for 21 days.
Excited for 21
Yeah.
days.
That's good.
Ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it on.